Why do I feel like I actually look like a mom today? I feel like my outfit is very much giving mom, especially with the glasses and the bun. But hi guys, it's officially summer, so I thought it'd be fun to share with you guys my summer TBR. I feel like this TBR is a little ambitious because there are a lot of books. Well, maybe not a lot for some people, but I feel like there are a lot of books in this TBR pile, and I don't know if I'm going to have time to go through all of them, to read all of them, especially since July is literally next week. I feel like summer always flies by. I feel like I have some really good books in this pile. I have a mixture of books that I checked out from the library, of books that I purchased with my own money. I'm also going to include some books that I have on hold on the Libby app. If you're unfamiliar with Libby, it's basically a app where you can use your library card to check out ebooks. Normally you have to put the more popular books on hold or like new releases on hold, but for the most part there are a ton of books available that you can check out immediately if you have a library card. I also think the books that are available on Libby will depend on your library and what your library has a license to give out, if that makes sense. Not everyone's Libby app is going to look the same. I think it's dependent on your library. Either way, I really love the Libby app, and I've been reading a ton of books on Libby. I've saved so much money that way. I'm also really happy because I've read some really popular like book talk famous books on Libby, and I've been really disappointed. So it makes me feel better that I'm not wasting money on books that I hate. If I end up giving a book a 5-star rating on Libby, I'll end up purchasing the physical copy so I can reread it again and annotate it and make it super pretty. But for the most part, Libby has saved me so much money. So if you're not reading on Libby, what are you doing? Go download the Libby app, get a library card, and go check out some ebooks. You can also read the books that you borrow on Libby on your Kindle or on your phone, whatever, which I also think is very convenient. I recently got a Kindle and I'm obsessed with it and I love it. I don't know why I waited so long to buy one, but yeah, that's my little rant on Libby. Go download it. I think I'll start with the physical books and then I'll share with you guys at the end the books that I currently have on hold on Libby. Before I do that, let me crack open a kombucha. I've been on a kombucha kick lately. This is the Raspberry Lemonade. They actually sent me a case of their kombucha. I did some UGC work for them. They're not sponsoring today's video. I just really love them. I have never really liked kombucha. It tastes too vinegary for me, but this one does not taste like vinegar at all. So I've been drinking one literally every single day. It's so good. I don't know how their other flavor tastes because I've only tried the raspberry lemonade. Oh, but this one is so good. I love it. I'm obsessed. And I have some Skittles in front of me, but I think that defeats the purpose of drinking kombucha and then scarfing down Skittles, so I'm not gonna have the Skittles. Let's dive into my summer TBR. The first book in my summer TBR pile is The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. Sarah Adams is definitely a hit or miss author for me. Sometimes I really enjoy her books, other times not so much. But this one actually sounded really interesting. It is a sports romance. If I remember correctly, it's also a second chance romance. Yes, the sporty second chance romance of your dreams, according to Tessa Bailey. Nora Mackenzie's entire career lies in the hands of famous NFL tight end Derek Pender, who happens to be her extremely hot college ex-boyfriend. Nora didn't end things as gracefully as she could have back then, and now it has come back to haunt her. Derek is her first client as an official full-time sports agent, and he's holding a grudge. Derek has set his sights on a little friendly revenge. If Nora, the first girl to ever break his heart, wants to be his agent, oh, he'll let her be his agent. The plan is simple: make Nora's life absolutely miserable, but if Derek knows anything about the woman he once loved, she won't quit easily. Instead of giving in, Nora starts a scheme of her own, but then a wild night in Vegas leads to Nora and Derek in bed the next morning, married. With the rule book out the window, could this new relationship save their careers and spark the romance of a lifetime? I'm really hoping this is a clean romance. I love Sarah Adams books when they're wholesome and clean and have no spice. I hated Practice Makes Perfect. Even though it was technically a clean romance, it was trying really hard not to be. I don't like when authors do that. Either write a completely wholesome, clean romance book or go in on the smut. Don't try to do both because it just doesn't work. It just comes out as corny and cringy. So I'm really hoping that this one is just a clean romance and I'm excited to read it. The cover is definitely giving me summer vibes with the little palm tree. Excited to give that one a chance. And then we have This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. This is a beach read and I think it came out this year. It's one of her newest releases. I read Every Summer After last year and I really enjoyed that book until probably the last couple chapters when a trope that I absolutely hate was introduced and kind of ruined the whole book for me, but I really was enjoying her writing up to that point. So I decided to give this book a chance. I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about it. I've also been trying to stay away from reviews because I want to go into it with an open mind and not really knowing anything, but I feel like this is going to be a very cute little beach read. At least I hope it is. Lucy is a tourist vacationing at a beach house on Prince Edward Island. Felix is the local who shows her a very good time. The only problem, Lucy doesn't know he's her best friend's younger brother. Lucy and Felix's chemistry is unreal, but the list of reasons why they need to stay away from each other is long, and they vow to never repeat that electric night. How do you not know your best friend's younger brother? Like, I'm interested to see how the author explains that away, because if you're best friends with someone, shouldn't you know their family? At least know what they look like? Each year, Lucy escapes to Prince Edward Island for a big breath of coastal air, fresh oysters, and crisp vino verde with her best friend Bridget. That sounds like a dream. Every visit begins with a long walk on the beach beneath soaring red cliffs and a golden sun, and every visit Lucy promises herself she won't wind up in Felix's bed again. When Bridget suddenly flees Toronto a week before her wedding, Lucy drops everything to follow her to the island. Her mission is to help Bridget through her crisis and resist the one man she's never been able to, but Felix's sparkling eyes and flirty quips have been replaced with something new, and Lucy's beginning to wonder just how safe her heart truly is. This sounds like it's going to be a really cute book. I'm just interested again to see how the author explains the fact that the female main character doesn't know who her best friend's brother is. That just seems weird to me. Then we have two books by Mary Kay Andrews. I have Hello Summer and then The Weekenders. The Weekenders is actually a book that I got from the library, and then Hello Summer is a book that I bought with my own money. Both of these books are beach reads that take place over the course of the summer, and they involve a lot of small town drama, which I'm here for. I've heard really good things about both of these books, so I'm very excited to give them a chance. So The Weekenders is about a female main character who vacations in Belle Isle, North Carolina every single year. While she's waiting on the ferry to go to the little island, she is served with papers saying that her summer home is foreclosed and her husband is nowhere to be found. So throughout the summer, she's trying to figure out, one, where her husband is, and two, why is her home getting foreclosed when she's not aware of them having any financial struggles. And throughout her trying to look for answers, she starts to unravel some secrets from the residents of the island. I feel like this is going to be a very juicy, drama-driven book. And the same thing can be said about Hello Summer. So this one goes, Conley left her family's small town newspaper, the Silver Bay Beacon, in the rearview mirror years ago. Now a star reporter for a big city paper, Conley is exactly where she wants to be and is about to take a fancy new position in Washington, D.C., or so she thinks. When the new job goes up in smoke, Conley finds herself right back where she started, working for her sister, who is trying to keep the family newspaper afloat, and she doesn't exactly have warm feelings for Conley. Soon she is given the task of overseeing the local gossip column Hello Summer. Then Conley witnesses an accident that ends in the death of a local congressman, a beloved war hero with a shady past. The more she digs into the story, the more dangerous it gets. As an old heartbreaker causes trouble and a new flame ignites, it soon looks like their sleepy beach town is the most scandalous hotspot of the summer. Another book that is going to prove to have a ton of drama. I feel like both of these books would do really well as Netflix shows. You know what I mean? Then I have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This is actually a book that I picked up from the library as well. This book went viral on TikTok, I want to say maybe like 2 years ago, and I never really felt the urge to pick it up. I honestly thought that it was science fiction until I read the synopsis and realized it was actually a romance book. I feel like I've been led astray. Like, I don't understand why I thought this was a science fiction book. Maybe because the cover is giving me science fiction vibes. I don't know, you guys. But it's actually a romance book. So it goes, spanning 30 years from Cambridge, Massachusetts to Venice Beach, California, and lands in between, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is a dazzling and intricately imagined novel that examines the multifarious nature of identity, disability, failure, the redemptive possibilities in play, and above all, our need to connect, to be loved, and to love. Yes, it is a love story, but it is not one you have read before. I'm really excited to read this book because it actually takes place, well, some of it takes place in Massachusetts, and I lived in Boston for almost 10 years before we moved to Florida. I just know that I'm going to love the scenery. The male main character is actually a student at Harvard, so if this book has any like scenery describing Cambridge in the Boston area, I know I'm going to love it. Very, very excited to read that book now that I know that it's not science fiction and that it's actually a romance book. I can't believe I spent 2 years thinking that that was science fiction. Then we have The Summer of Sunshine in Margot by Susan Mallory. This is another library find for me. It goes that the Baxter sisters sisters come from a long line of women with no luck in love. But this summer, Sunshine and Margot will turn disasters into destiny. Etiquette coach Margot has a new client named Bianca, an aging movie star who is both famous and notorious. Margot finds herself intrigued by the actress' son, Alec, but will he trust her enough to let her in? Meanwhile, Sunshine, who has a habit of chasing after unworthy guys, is determined to change. This time, she'll finish college, dedicate herself to her job, and will not fall for the wrong guy, especially not the tempting single dad who also happens to be her boss. This is another book that I just know is going to be filled with drama. I also really like that the characters are a lot older. I feel like I need a break from young adult books, just with the whole immaturity that sometimes comes with characters featured in YA books. I just need a little break for now. I think that's why I have a lot of books in this pile that are not YA and that feature characters that are a little bit older than what I typically read. Yeah, so I'm very excited about this one. The cover is absolutely stunning, and I think this is going to be multiple POVs since it's about two different sisters, or maybe it's not multiple POVs, I don't know, but I am excited to read this one. Then we have A Country Affair. It's such a cute little book. Like, do you guys see the size of this book? It's so tiny. I might take this on the plane with me because we are planning a little family vacation, and this is like the perfect size to just fit in my carry-on. This is actually 2 stories in one, and they're both small town romances, which I love. I'm a sucker for a good small town romance, especially if it takes place during the summer. So the first one is called A Little Bit Country, and then the second one is called Country Bride. If I'm not mistaken, I think both stories are kind of intertwined together, so it kind of flows easily with one another. But A Little Bit Country, stranded on the side of a country road with a broken down car, Rory is grateful when horse rancher Clay comes to her rescue. Stuck in the small town, Rory gets to know Clay, and she quickly starts to fall for the gruff, tough cowboy. Can a city girl make it work with a country man? And then Country Bride goes, Kate is understandably devastated when her former fiance marries someone else instead. So I think her former fiance is Clay from A Little Bit Country. I might be wrong, but I think that's the case. At the wedding, after one glass of champagne, she spontaneously proposes to her longtime friend Luke, and Luke agrees. The rancher is a man of his word, and though Kate thinks they're making a mistake, he will not go back on his promise. Not only does he refuse to break the engagement, he insists that Kate actually loves him, and he'll prove it. So a little bit of fake romance and friends to lovers. I'm here for it. We'll definitely be reading this before the summer is over. Then I have 2 books from the same author, Jennifer Weiner. I have Big Summer here, and then The Summer Plays. Big Summer is a library checkout, and then I actually bought The Summer Plays a few months ago and just haven't gotten around to reading it. I really like her book covers. I think they're so cute, simple and cute. Both of these books deal with a lot of family drama and rediscovering relationships, figuring out who you are as a person. I feel like they're going to be very similar. Might have to space them out, maybe read one in July and then the second one in August, so I'm not underwhelmed by the stories, you know? Big Summer is a sparkling novel about the complexities of female relationships, the pitfalls of living out loud and online, and the resilience of the human heart. Big Summer is a witty, moving story about family, friendship, and figuring out what matters most. So this one focuses more on friendships, but both books take place in Cape Cod, which is why they're giving me similar vibes. The Summer Plays is a testament to family in all its massive glory. A story about what we sacrifice and how we forgive, enthralling, witty, big-hearted, and sharply absurd. This is Jennifer's love letter to the outer Cape and the power of home. The way our lives are enriched by the people we call family, and the endless ways love can surprise us. Okay, so this one focuses more on family, and then Big Summer focuses more on friendships. So they might not be that similar, but very excited about these 2 books. I've never read anything from this author, so I'm excited to give her a chance and hopefully discover a new author that I love, because I think she has a couple books that are out. Yeah, she has written a lot of books actually. If all goes well with these 2 books, I'll definitely be checking out her other books. So those are all the books that are part of my physical summer TBR pile, and then I have a couple, I think 4 books that are currently on hold. So let's go to Libby real quick. Again, if you don't have Libby, go download it. So good. I have a couple books that I'm actually reading through Libby, or I'm trying to find the time to read on Libby. Like, I have a ton of books on my shelf right now on Libby that I need to read. I just haven't had the time to actually sit down. For example, currently reading Betting on You by Lynn Painter, which I started last night and I'm obsessed, love it. And I want to read A Little Life next, which, side note, I know I've said on my channel a million times that I would never read Little Life, but I saw Sarah Caroli here on BookTube talk about this book. The way she was describing it kind of intrigued me and made me want to read it, but I don't want to buy it in case I hate it. So I found it on Libby, and I think I'm gonna read it and give it a chance. I don't know, maybe I'll love it, but that's neither here nor there. For this video, video. There are a couple books, like I said, that I have on hold. So I have Summer Island by Kristen Hanna on hold. I think that book is going to be delivered in less than 6 weeks. Normally the hold times on Libby are not the most accurate. I always get the books earlier than what the app states. Like normally I put a book on hold and then it says it's going to be on hold for 6 weeks, and it turns out that it's delivered like literally 2 weeks later. But for Summer Island by Kristen Hanna, it goes, years ago, Nora Bridge walked out on her marriage and left her daughters behind. Insane. She has since become a famous radio talk show host and newspaper columnist, beloved by her moral advice. I'm already side-eyeing this person. Her youngest daughter, Ruby, is a struggling comedian who uses her famous mother as fuel for her bitter, cynical humor. When the tabloids unearth a scandalous secret from Nora's past, their estrangement suddenly becomes dramatic. Nora is injured in an accident, and a glossy magazine offers Ruby a fortune to write a tell-all about her mother. Under false pretenses, Ruby returns home to take care of the woman she hasn't spoken to for almost a decade. I'm already siding with the daughter. I've heard really good things about Summer Island, so I'm very excited to read that, and I feel like it's also going to be a very interesting story. I'm looking forward to learn about why the mother abandoned her 2 daughters. Like, that's insane. I can't imagine walking away from my son ever, so I don't know. The next book that I have on hold is Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. This is an adult romance book by Lynn Painter, which I'm beginning to learn that I honestly prefer Lynn Painter as a YA romance writer. I've read a couple of her adult romances and I didn't really love them, but the premise of Happily Never After sounds really funny, so I decided to give it a chance. It goes, when Sophie finds out just before her nuptials that her fiance has cheated yet again, she desperately wants to call it off. But because her future father-in-law is her dad's cutthroat boss, she doesn't want to be the one to do it. Her savior comes in the form of a professional objector whose purpose is to show up at weddings and proclaim the words no couple wants to hear at their ceremony: I object. During anti-wedding festivities that night, Sophie learns more about Max, the objector's job. It makes perfect sense to her. He saves people from wasting their lives, from hurting each other. He's a modern day hero, and Sophie wants in. Or how about you just have an open communication with the person you're set to marry and let them know that you don't want to marry them? Crazy concept. The 2 love cynics start working together, going from wedding to wedding, and Sophie's having more fun than she's had in ages. She looks forward to every nerve-wracking ceremony, saving the lovesick souls of the betrothed masses. As Sophie and Max spend more time together, however, they realize that their physical chemistry is off the charts. And then everything changes. A groom-to-be hires Sophie to object, but his fiancée is the woman who broke Max's heart. As Max wrestles with whether he can be a party to his ex getting hurt, Sophie grapples with the sudden realization that she may have fallen hard for her partner in crime. So a little friends to lovers, I'm here for it. The synopsis sounds hilarious, so I feel like it's going to be a really good book. Hopefully it's a really good book. Then the next book that I have on hold is the ROM Commers by Catherine Senner. I think this book recently came out in June. It follows a main character named Emma who's hired to rewrite a screenplay for a very famous screenwriter who she has idolized for years, but when she meets him, he's completely different than what she imagined him to be, and he actually does not want to work with her at all, but they have to work together to rewrite this rom-com movie. She's determined to complete her job, and she's determined to make her dreams of a screenwriter come true. So she wants to prove to him that she can in fact write an amazing rom-com, and she also wants to prove to him that love is real because he doesn't believe in love at all. Again, another book that just sounds like it's going to be hilarious. I also read The Bodyguard by Catherine Senner, I think in December of last year, and loved it so much. So I'm very excited to be reading the ROM Commers. Very excited. And then the next book that I have on hold is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I haven't read a Christina Lauren book in so long. I loved The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I read that one in 2022, I want to say, and I still think about that book till this day. I loved it. But then I read a couple of their other books and I wasn't a huge fan, so I decided to take a break. But then I saw that they have a new release and I want to read it. I want to give it a chance, and hopefully it's just as good as The Unhoneymooners was. It's a fake dating romance between the heir of a grocery chain and his free-spirited ex. They end up faking their relationship to receive a massive inheritance, and the male main character starts starts to struggle with their fake relationship. Like he wants to protect the main character from his family and from the toxicity of rich people, I guess. I don't know, it sounds like it's going to be really funny. That's another book that is on hold for me. I really want to give the writing another chance, and hopefully I love this one. Those are all the books that I want to read this summer. Hopefully I'm able to read all of them. I mean, I do need to read all the books that I checked off on the library first because I do have to return them. But yeah, I hope that I managed to read all the books in this pile. All of them honestly bring a smile to my face when I look at them. I have a pretty good feeling about these books. Let me know in the comments below what books you're planning to read this summer. Do you have a summer TBR, or are you just going with the flow, seeing what you're in the mood to read and deciding kind of day by day what you want to read? Definitely stay tuned and subscribe so you can hear my thoughts on these books during my monthly reading wrap-ups if you care. And that is pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you a part of my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.